Hey, you can't make this up, man. I believe the Sky got their name because that front office is high as a kite right now, dog. You can't make this up. I don't understand what the Chicago Sky are doing, man. Literally made one of the craziest moves.
That reaction right there tells you everything you need to know about what just went down in Chicago. The Sky didn't just make a questionable move before the expansion draft. They made a move so baffling that even their own fans are struggling to defend it. We're talking about a team that missed the playoffs trading away draft capital to protect a roster that didn't work. So let's break down exactly what happened here, because this decision reveals something deeper about how franchises think about rebuilding in the WNBA.
As y'all can see on the screen, right? Andy ended up stating the Sky will have complete protection in the expansion draft after swapping the number 17th pick with the Fire's number 21 pick. I'm like, okay, sure. Then she said, and sending their number 26 pick to the Tempo.
Here's what the Sky actually did. They swapped their 17th overall pick with the Valkyries' 21st pick. Then they sent their 26th pick to the Tempo. In exchange, both expansion teams agreed not to select any Sky players in Friday's draft. Complete protection for the entire roster. Now, if you're thinking that sounds like something a championship contender would do, you'd be right. But the Sky went 13-27 last season. They finished 11th in a 12-team league. This wasn't a team one piece away from contending.
Can we look? Hold on, man. Can we look at the roster? Can we look at the roster real quick? Fam, you telling me y'all didn't want to let any of these players go? Y'all didn't want to let any of them go. Man, hold on, man. It's not making sense. Hold on, man. Bottom line, they are literally tanking for Juju. All right, that's it. Just say it with your chest, man. Come out and say it with your chest. Y'all are tanking for Juju, or you're tanking for Hidalgo. Just say it. Don't pee on my car and tell me it's raining, dog. All right, just give me the facts.
Let's look at who they're protecting, because that's where this gets interesting. Angel Reese is obviously untouchable. Camila Cardoso showed real promise as a rookie, but beyond that, the roster is filled with role players and unrestricted free agents who may not even return. Marina Mabre, Chennedy Carter, Michaela Onion, Lindsay Allen, Dana Evans, all unrestricted free agents this offseason. The expansion teams could only pick one unrestricted free agent anyway under the new CBA rules. So the Sky essentially gave up draft picks to protect players who might walk in free agency regardless.
What it's gonna look like, honestly, throughout the draft, because a lot of the players are unrestricted free agents. So we might be seeing a lot of picks being given up or something. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it, all right? Because this is wild. I don't know why you run it back, right? I don't have any clue why you would run it back at all. And I don't know, maybe that's why it would have been beneficial for people to have signed a free.
This is where the logic completely breaks down. Under the expansion draft rules, teams could protect 6 players. The Sky could have easily protected Reese, Cardoso, and their 4 best young pieces. Let the expansion teams take a role player or an unrestricted free agent who's probably leaving anyway. Instead, they mortgaged future draft capital. In a league where rookie contracts provide incredible value and draft picks are essential for rebuilding, the Sky just made themselves worse for next season and beyond. Think about what those picks could have meant. The 17th pick in a WNBA draft can land you a rotation player, sometimes a future starter. The 26th pick still gives you a developmental prospect. Chicago just gave that away to keep players who helped them win 13 games.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm just trying to figure out, why did they have to give up draft picks? Did they have to, or did they want to? That's my biggest question, right? They swapped. Right? They swapped. So what was, I don't know. Why would you swap? Who are you protecting? That's what it feels like. It's like, who are you protecting? Because you gave up an early spot for a later spot. It had to be a reason you did that, right? You had to be protecting somebody in order to do that. So who were you protecting? What happened? Yo, this is just wild, man. Then you just gave up your 26 pick to Tempo. So what? I don't know, man. I'm trying to make sense of it, y'all. But maybe this is what it's going to look like.
Now, there's a theory floating around that makes some sense on the surface. Maybe the Sky are tanking for Paige Brukers or Hannah Hidalgo in the 2026 draft. Keep the roster intact, finish with a terrible record again, and position yourself for a generational talent. But here's the problem with that strategy. You just made your team worse by giving up picks. You're not getting better draft position by sacrificing future assets. You're just limiting your options. And let's talk about the message this sends to your fan base. Chicago fans watched their team struggle all season. They saw the chemistry issues, the defensive breakdowns, the fourth quarter collapses. Now the front office is essentially saying, we're running it back with the same group but with fewer resources to improve. That's not a rebuild. That's organizational paralysis. The comparison to what other teams are doing makes this look even worse. Dallas let Satu Sabali walk rather than overpay. Indiana is aggressively managing their cap to keep their core together while adding pieces. Las Vegas made tough decisions to stay competitive. Chicago? They're clinging to mediocrity like it's a life raft.
All right, so that's basically how that works. Now, a prime example of this going down would be Satu Sabali. She was cored by the Dallas Wings, and then she was traded to the Phoenix Mercury. Now, I do believe that there will be better unrestricted free agents out there, but we just don't know what's gonna happen, man, right? We literally saw the...
Here's what makes this particularly frustrating for Sky fans. The core rules around unrestricted free agents should have made this decision easy. Each expansion team can only select one unrestricted free agent total. That means if the Sky had protected their 6 most important players, the worst case scenario is losing one role player who might leave in free agency anyway. Instead, they panicked and gave up assets to prevent something that probably wasn't going to happen.
The Sky did, so we can do it too, man. Hey, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Chicago Sky actually protecting everybody and giving up draft picks instead of allowing the teams to actually pick a player. Hey, that's kind of wild, man. Will the Indiana Fever do something like that to protect KK if they do protect Sophie? Oh, man, let me know in the comment section.
Let's put this in perspective by looking at what smart organizations do in this situation. When expansion drafts happen, savvy front offices see opportunity. They use it to shed bad contracts, move on from players who don't fit, or even acquire assets by taking on another team's problem. The Sky did the opposite. They paid to maintain the status quo. And here's the thing about those swap details. Moving from 17 to 21 might not sound like much, but in a draft with only 36 picks total, those 4 spots matter. The gap between the 17th and 21st prospect can be the difference between a future starter and a player who never cracks the rotation. Chicago just accepted that downgrade to protect a roster that won 13 games. The 26th pick they sent to the Tempo? That's a 2nd round pick that could have been used to take a flyer on an international prospect or a college senior who can contribute immediately. Teams have found rotation players in that range. The Sky just gave it away for nothing. What's particularly baffling is the timing. This happened before free agency even started. The Sky don't know which of their unrestricted free agents are returning. They don't know what the market looks like for their players. They made this move in a complete information vacuum, which suggests either panic or incompetence. Neither is a good look for a front office. Think about the alternative scenario. Protect Reese, Cardoso, and 4 other core pieces. Let the expansion teams take whoever they want from the unprotected group. If it's an unrestricted free agent, they probably weren't re-signing anyway. If it's a role player on contract, you just created cap flexibility. Either way, you keep your draft picks and maintain roster flexibility. But the Sky chose certainty over optionality. They chose comfort over competitiveness. And in a league where the gap between playoff teams and lottery teams is razor thin, that kind of risk-averse thinking is how you end up stuck in mediocrity for years. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Could this actually work out? Is there a universe where we look back at this move and say it was smart? Technically, yes. If Marina Mabre and Kennedy Carter both re-sign, if the team chemistry magically improves, if Angel Reese makes a massive leap, if Camila Cardoso becomes an all-star, if they catch lightning in a bottle and make a playoff run, then sure, maybe this looks fine. But that's a lot of ifs stacked on top of each other. The more likely scenario is that some of those unrestricted free agents leave anyway. The Sky finish with another losing record. And in 2 years, when they're looking at their draft board wishing they had more picks to work with, they'll remember that they gave away assets to protect a 13-win roster. This is what organizational fear looks like. Fear of change, fear of making hard decisions, fear of telling your fan base that the current core isn't good enough. The best franchises in sports aren't afraid to make uncomfortable moves when the evidence demands it. Chicago just proved they're not one of those franchises. So here's the question Sky fans need to be asking their front office, what's the plan? Because running back a losing roster with fewer draft picks isn't a plan. That's hope disguised as strategy. And hope doesn't win championships. Smart decisions do, asset management does. Having the courage to admit when something isn't working and making changes does. The expansion draft was an opportunity, a chance to reset, to get younger, to accumulate assets, to make hard choices about the future. Instead, the Sky chose to protect the past. And in a league that's evolving as fast as the WNBA is right now, standing still is the same as moving backward. If you're a Sky fan, drop a comment and tell me how you're feeling about this move. Are you trusting the front office has a plan we don't see? Or are you as confused as the rest of us? And if you're a fan of another team, would you want your franchise making this kind of decision? Because Friday's expansion draft is going to be fascinating, and Chicago just set the tone for how teams are approaching it. Whether that's a good thing or a disaster, we're about to find out.